Mathematics, Ordinary Level, Paper 2, 2022, Part 5. Let's look at question number 12. A grain silo is a cylinder with a hemisphere on top. That means half a sphere. Okay. The cylinder has a diameter of 12 meter and its height is 13 meter. Now, if the diameter is the radius will be 6. But that also means that up there, it will also be 6. Just keep that in mind. Okay. Where will you find this? You will find this on page 528, but you can also look at page 521 to help you in question A. Okay, very nice. They gave you the volume of the sphere. Okay, now let's start. Find the height of the silo. Now remember, it is this 13 plus, as I showed you, because the 13 stopped there, the 6. So in total, it will be 19 meter. Okay. The curved surface area of the silo. Now remember, the curved surface area means the curved surface area of the cylinder as well as that hemisphere. Okay, so it's going to, and this is why I showed you the 2 pages. Let's rather write the pages here. I just want to just get the eraser. I'm rather going to write. Okay, so this is going to be, so this is more for question B. So this is going to be on page 528 for the one, and the other one is on page 521. Okay, but let's start. So if I start with the top. So it's going to be a half surface area. Okay, so that is going to be, and unfortunately they didn't give me that formula. That was this, it should have helped. That should have been, and that's always why it's good to just memorize the formulas. So it's 4 pi r square. Okay, it's almost like it's 4 areas of a circle. That's easy way to remember it. Okay, so if I'm just going to do it 0,5 times the 4, I'm going to work with 3,142. You can work with pi, and then don't forget that the radius was 6 square. Now, if I press that on my calculator, if I worked with the 3,142, so it's 0.5 times 4 times 3.142, like they said in the instructions, or I must use the real pi. But then it's going to give me an exact number, which is nice and which is approximated enough. I can keep pi also. That will also be correct. But now, so that was, it's almost for that surface area, the top. But now I'm going to the curved surface area of just the cylinder part. So curved surface area, and that's of the cylinder. And that is going to be, so it's, remember, it's area, perimeter of the circumference. And what is that? 2 pi r. I want to use another color, it's just stand out a bit. Okay, so let's just make, I'm in blue. So it's 2 pi r, so the circumference, multiply the height. And that is going to be 2 multiply 3,142 multiply 6 multiply, and remember the height. Remember this is also 6. Okay, and that is going to be 13. And if I press that on my calculator, I'm just going to press it quickly. Now I'm going a bit over the space. Now I'm going to work here. I'll show you in another question. If there's not enough space, then, and maybe we will do this, then we can just go mark the question and go to the extra pages that they provide. I'll do it in another question. But go to extra page. But then it's just very important that you say, make a star and say on extra page. But it's good to first finish at least this answer here. And if I finish that answer, I get 490.152. I just didn't want to be so close to the answer. Do you see? Okay, but then the total surface area, and then if you go to the extra page, you make a star question 12b, and you just say on extra page, continue on extra page. Okay, so then I can just say the total surface area and that is now going to be that 226.224 plus 490.152. And if I approximate it to three significant figures, I will. It's actually, as I said always, it's better to first write down the full calculator display. And let me just do it. 490.152. And then I would have got, okay, let's rather continue here. I just want to make space. So I got 716.376. And if I approximate it, then it would have been 716. Now, that is when I was working with pi as 3,142. But if you worked with the calculator pi, these values will differ, but it will still approximate to the same answer. Three significant figures. Okay, that's very important. So I must say that space was a little bit tight, but that's why they give you the extra space. And now they say the volume of the silo. So volume, now remember, it's the volume of the cylinder plus the volume, and it's a half sphere. And as I said, they were nice, they gave you, but that's not difficult to, it's just 4 circles. Just remember it like this. But they were nice to give you the volume there. But the cylinder they will not give, because it's area of base times height. Easy also to remember. Now this one is nice because they gave it, and it was that 4/3, and it was pi, and it was r, and that was to the power of 3. And now I just simply put it in. So 3,142, the radius is 6 squared, the height is 13, half, and then it's 4/3, 3,142, and the radius is now 6 to the power of 3. Okay, now if I check on my calculator, it's that 1470.456 plus that 452.448. That was 448. And first the calculate, so it's 1922.904. But if I approximate, and I'm going to put it in red, so this is 123, and that's, if you check, I want to go for red. If you check, that says, so it's going to be 192, and don't forget your 0. And don't forget that one was 716. So don't go so close to the space. Rather go to the extra page and just come and fill in your answer. But remember to notify that. Okay, let's just go and check to see what is the report telling us. Okay, so that one is finished. And I'm at question 11. Okay, so let's just make it a bit bigger, that we can read what they're saying. Or not question, it's question 12. 11 is done. Okay, let's just quickly, before I start reading, I just want to quickly control here. Okay, because now the answers is still in your mind. 19, can you remember? 716. And then, or you could have worked with the pi and then 120. Okay, but let's see what they wrote to us. They say, some candidates failed to realize that to find the height of a silo, they had to add the height of the cylinder to the radius of the hemisphere. Many given that it's only 13, but they had to add that half sphere. Okay, that was question A. Number B, and that is now the curved surface area. Many candidates thought that only the cylinder has a curved surface area. But remember, the sphere is also having a curved surface area, not realizing that a hemisphere also has a curved part. Thus, many candidates only work out the curved surface area of the cylinder. Some candidates also did not realize that the silu was made up of two shapes, a hemisphere and a cylinder. That means a half sphere and a cylinder. Okay, and then the next one, the last one here, we can just make it a bit bigger. As I said, it's just not that difficult, but also things that you just have to remember go. I just check if I gave you the volume pages. So candidates used the formula of the sphere that was provided, but however, they did not divide it by 2 to find the volume of the hemisphere, half. In addition, some could not recall the formula for the volume of a cylinder. Remember, all volume of prisms is area of base times the height. I just want to, before I go on with that, I just want to, I don't think I gave you the pages there of the laws, where to find the volume. So I can maybe just indicate before I go on. So if you wanted to see the volumes, you could have go to 521 also, the same as there. And you could go to page 526. That would have helped you in the textbook, y equals mx+c. Question number 13. Given that A, and this is a matrix, and B, and this is another matrix. So I'm at matrices. And if I, in the textbook, it's part 2, you will find it on page 562, 563. There you will find this. Now, this is just multiplication. So if I'm just going to write it out simple, it's just a strange way, but you must just conquer this. This is just a method, but it's a straightforward question. Okay, now how do I multiply? I multiply, remember, I multiply this with this. And the first one with the first one, and the second one with the second one. Okay, so if I'm going to say 2 multiply 1, it's 2. Negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. And that will become a number. Okay, then I multiply with this one. Then 2 times 0 is 0. And negative 6 times negative 4 is 24. Okay, and then I multiply this one with this one. And then I'm going to say 7 times 1 is 7. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And then I'm going to multiply with this one. So 7 times 0 is 0. And 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And then I'm just going to simplify it. So then I'm going to say 2 plus 18, that's 20. And then this plus this is 24. And then this one is negative 2. And this one is negative 12. And that will be my final answer. Okay, not so difficult. Now, the next one, now this is actually, according to me, an easier one. Okay, so I'm just going to write it first out. So I'm going to say 2, and I write again A. So 2, 7, negative 6, 3, plus B. 1, negative 3, 0, negative 4. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. This is negative 12. This is 6. 1, negative 3, 0, negative 4. Now, I can only add a 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, or a 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. But this is perfect now. So I'm just going to say 4 plus 1, and that's going to be 5. And negative 12 plus 0, and it's negative 12. And then 14 minus 3, that is 11. And 6 minus 4, that is 2. And that's your final answer. Okay. And then I'm just going to continue with this one. Now, this one is just in the form of a matrix, but you actually take out the algebra out of it. So it meaning that you're going to say this is equal to this, and you're going to say this is equal to this. You take out the two equations. So if I take out the two equations, it's going to be x plus y and that's equal to 6. And then 5 plus y, and that's equal to 15. Now, because it's not simultaneous, this one is only having one unknown. Do you see this equation 1, equation 2? So start with equation 2. So just get y and take the 15 minus 5, and what will that be? 10. And now you can substitute in 1. So now you can say x plus 10, and that is equal to 6. So x is equal to 6 minus 10, and that is equal to negative 4. So the value of x is negative 4, and the value of y will be 10. Okay, and that is, it's not finished. There's still one. Okay, let's just do C before we go to the exam, the report. Now, use matrix method to solve. This is solving equations, and you will find it on page 569. And go also to part 570. Okay, so the first thing will be to take it out as a matrix. So it's 1, 3, 2, negative 5. So it's going to be, let's just start there. So it's 1, 3, 2, negative 5. And because the x came first, so it's xy. And then it's going to be 9 and 5. Okay. So basically what I'm going to do is, you can do it on the side, whatever. I should have write more in here. Okay. But I first want to go and find the inverse of that one. So basically, I'm going to say here on the side, okay, this is now A. Let's say A is that 1, 3, 2, negative 5. And if I find that inverse, okay, now first I'm going to find the determinant. So I'm going to say 1 times negative 5 is negative 5 plus 3 times 2, and that will subtract, sorry. Let's just write. Subtract. It's always, you take this one, multiply, and you subtract this one. So minus 6. Okay. And then what you do is, you're going to swap this 2. Okay, remember. Okay, so you swap this 2. Let me just show you. This 2 you swap. And so you're going to write here negative 5. And you're going to write here 1. And then this 2, you just change the signs. So it's negative 3 and it's negative 2. Okay. So basically, I'm going to multiply now. And let me just, I'm going to keep on to the blue. So it is going to be 1 over negative 11. And then it's going to be negative 5, negative 3, negative 2, and 1. Okay. And if I multiply, okay, so I will now bring this on. So basically what you do is, you multiply both sides with that inverse. But if you multiply it on this side, it's just going to give that I. So you will only be left with xy. But you must also, and it's very important, that you put this in there and multiply. Okay, so let's just do this, what I showed you. So it's going to be xy. So you're going to get that 1, 0, 0, 1, which is almost like multiplying 1. It's just going to stay xy. And then I'm going to put in now this inverse. So it's 1 over negative 11. And it's that negative 5, negative 3, negative 2, and 1. And don't forget your 9 and 5. So it must come in front of the 9 and 5. And now I'm going to just start multiplying. So I get xy. Okay, now if I multiply, what I'm going to do to make it easier, I'm going to first multiply this out. And then I'll bring the 11. So let's keep to the 1 over negative 11. And then I'm going to say negative 5 multiply 9. So that is going to give me negative 45. And negative 2 multiply 5, and that's negative 10. Okay. I'm putting the in-between step. And then I multiply this. So this is negative 27. And then 1 times 5 is 5. And now, okay, I'm putting an extra step, but I could have put it in 1. But for the video, I do a little bit longer. So this is negative 55. So just simplify that matrix. It must just become that. So negative 5, and then this one is negative 22. And now it's easy, because now I can see, oh, this is coming nice. Okay, so if I multiply this, so it's like negative times a negative is a positive. So 55 divided by 11, what is that going to be? 5. A negative times a negative is a positive. 22 divided by 11, and what is that going to be? 2. So therefore, I can say the value of x is going to be 5, and the value of y is going to be 2. Remember, you must solve it with matrices. Otherwise, you will get 0. And I think it will also be what the report is going to tell you. Okay. So let's look at the report. This was question 13. So let's just go to the next. Okay, here it is. Now, again, part A to part B were well answered. Very straightforward. Part C was, however, poorly answered. Many candidates could obtain the values of x and y by using other methods rather than the matrix method. Since the method of solving was specified, candidates who used other methods to solve only got a mark for each correct value. Oh, they were kind. They gave you 1 mark. Okay. So, yeah, that was kind. Okay. It was clear that some centers have not taught this object of the syllabus. It's again because it's the end, but again, make use of other resources. If your teacher is not there or become absent, just go to online and make sure you conquer everything before you go into the examination. Okay. And here was the answers, and you can just compare it. Let's just see. Okay. Number B was Y. What was number C? Let's just quickly see. I just want to see. X and Y. I don't know why is this one. Just want to see. I think they negative 4. Question 13. I'm just going to control a little bit to see with our answer now. Negative 12. That's correct. And then 5, 11, negative 12 and 2, that's correct. And then the negative 4 and the y is equal 10 is correct. But it seems to me the C here is not correct. It seems to me like a printing mistake. Do you see? If you look here, you will see it's correct. The value of x is 5 and the value of y is 2. Okay, so just take note of that. Okay, let's do the last question in this video. And I'm going back to the question paper. And let's just find out where was... Oh, I think it's this one. And then yes, it's just this. It's graphs. So by completing the square, find the coordinates of the turning points. And you will find this on page 249. Okay, now... completing the square, it's very clear there. Just take out the negative. And then it's going to be x squared plus 6x. Okay, minus 7. I'm already going to leave the space. Okay, so the signs will just change. So to a positive, to a negative, to a negative. Okay, to a positive, to a negative. Just the opposite sign. Then don't forget... for completing the square, if it's only on one side, whatever I add, I must also subtract. It's now an expression, it's not an equation. So I take the middle value, I divide it by 2, and I square. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and I square. And then it's whatever I add, I must also subtract. Okay. And now I'm just keeping to this, so negative, okay. And now I'm just going to say, I make this bracket. So x, I take this, the square root, I take this sign, plus, and I take this, and I take the square. And now I just simplify. It's negative 7, negative 9, so it will be negative 16. And then I'm just going to say, but y is equal to negative, just bring it in front. So negative x plus 3 square plus 16. And now I can find the turning point. So remember, always the turning, this sign changed, so it's negative 3, and this sign stays the same, and that's 16. And that's your answer. And then sketch the curve. Now, what do I need? I need also to see where it cuts the y-axis. And you can see, to see that, you can see page 322. That will also help you. So if I want to see where it cuts y, okay, and if you want and you don't want to go into your sketch, so cuts y-axis, make x equal, yes, make x equal 0, yes. So then we'll cut the y-axis at 7. And if I want to see where it cuts the x-axis, make y equal 0. So it's going to be 0 equals negative x squared minus 6x plus 7. Okay, and because it's 0, I can divide by negative all the way. So it's x in its equation. So it's x squared plus 6x minus 7. Okay, so let's just get that factors. So it's going to be 7 and 1 and 1 and 1. 7 minus 1 is 6. Excellent, in group B. And the biggest overcross gets a positive, and this one positive, and this negative, and this x. So I'm sitting with x plus 7 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. So x equals negative 7, or x is equal to 1. So it's always good to use a ruler, because then it's a little bit, don't just sketch it. And I don't know if I will be able to find my ruler now. Let's just see if I find a ruler. Shapes, no, it's definitely not the shapes. Okay. Okay, but I just want to now, so take a ruler, and I think maybe it will help now. I don't think it's going to help if I make a grid, but for now, as I said, take a ruler and just at least make your 1 centimeter spaces. Okay, as I said, use a ruler. I'm just struggling to get my ruler now here on the board. And I don't want to waste so many time in this video now. Okay, make 1 centimeter spaces. And it's just one, and then you can work on the estimate more or less. So then you can go 2. If it's 1 centimeter, then it will be good to go 2, 4, 6, 8. Negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8. And now, because this one goes up very quickly, very high, it's cutting at 7. So yeah, we can do an estimate. So let's make it 5, 10, and then I can make this 15, but it's going up to 16. So I think the best will be not to go to 5s. Then I can make it 10, and I can make it 20, and then I can just do an estimate. Okay, so it's cutting the x-axis at 1. Do you see? And write that 1. I'm going to make it in red. Write the 1. And it's cutting the x-axis also at negative 7. So write that negative 7. And it's cutting the y-axis at 7. So it's going to be, say, there. Write 7. And then it's negative 3. So it's there. And it's 16. Say there. And write it. Negative 3 and 16. Okay. And now if you draw it, you can now go, okay, there was the other space, there was a space, there was a space. And you can just try as good as you can to just fill that in. And you can even give the name for it. Say y equals negative x squared minus 6x plus 7. Okay, let's just go to the report and see what they are telling you about this graph. Okay, I think we can be here or even on. It's on. Okay, and I think it's still on. 14. Yes. Candidates struggle to complete the square of the given equation correctly. When the method of solving is specified, candidates should be advised uh, to use specified method in order to obtain full marks for the solution. Okay, they said by completing the square. B was poorly answered. Many candidates did not know how to correct shape of the graph. Many were often seen drawing straight lines. Candidates should also be advised to indicate the intercepts, as this also counts for marks. Many candidates wrote the y-intercept as y equals 7, which is incorrect, as that is an equation of a line. Candidates should be advised to indicate this on the graph, or to at least then written y-intercept equals 7. Yeah, something like that. And then let's just go on. And then I just showed you how it was looking. Okay, and I think our shape was not that bad. Okay, but there is the negative 26. I think this is also a printing mistake. It's going to be 16. Can you see 7? Definitely not 26. Sorry, it's coming. I got it. It's the one, but it's the even printing mistakes even sometimes in reports. We always strive not to have printing errors, but I think that happened again. Because can you see there? If you're going to see, you can see it already. -7, -9 is going to be 16 and not 26. That's incorrect. Okay, it's also good to write the point, and it's good to write the intercepts, and you would get marks for all that points. Okay, and I'm just ending up, and I'm showing you always, so in all the videos, that you are aware where to find. So there is the bookshops that you can check. And then for the teachers, I like also to show, maybe somebody's only watching this video and didn't watch all the other videos, to show you that the books are on the catalog, the NEET catalog. All the books are there. All the posters, get nice posters for you. If you get a budget from the ministry, it's really helping students if they see all the formulas on an everyday base. And then also, which I also like to show, just is that schools planning, especially private schools, who's not part of the ministry budget, maybe in terms of textbooks, you can always remember that you can order directly from us in bulk, and then if it's in bulk, then we try our best to give you a good discount. See, you will find it there. Okay, let's start with a new question.